Let's talk about Nigel Farage, a man who is known as the architect of Brexit and the face of Euroscepticism in the UK. He is now looking to become the next British Prime Minister.
We are in societal decline. We are allowing criminals to freely come into Britain.
So who is Nigel Farage? Why are more and more Britons choosing him? And is Farage the Donald Trump of the UK? I'm Ananya Datta for Hindustan Times. Let's get some answers. For nearly 3 decades, Nigel Farage has said that the UK is better off without the European Union, all while moving between politics and media roles. Unlike his peers, Farage decided not to go to university after school. Instead, he became a trader on the London Metal Exchange and joined hands with the Conservatives. But a treaty in 1992 that wanted to bring the UK and rest of Europe closer made him quit the party. In 1993, he helped right-wing leaders to form the UK Independence Party. It lurked on the political periphery but turned out to be the perfect launchpad for Farage. He was elected to the European Parliament as MEP for South East England in 1999. The years leading up to the 2016 Brexit referendum is where he found his actual spotlight. He became a familiar face on TV, asserting his skepticism about the European Union, something he was saying all along but found the right audience only now. The newfound attention prompted him to launch his party, the Reform UK, in 2019. But soon after, he left frontline politics and pursued a career in television. His return in 2024 June caught mainstream politics by surprise. He decided to run as a candidate in Clacton and gave the voters just 6 weeks of campaigning. Back then, a poll that was published just minutes after Farage's announcement suggested that Reform UK was going to win no seats. But as it turned out, 8th time was a charm for Farage, who finally sealed his seat at the British Parliament. The 2024 general election saw his party secure more than 4 million votes and a total of 5 seats. Now, the seats weren't close to what the Labour and Conservatives got, but it unmasked the potential of the right-wing voters that were for long with the Conservatives. A direct indicator of why Reform UK is able to connect with the Britons is this. The party has a live tracker going on to count its members. About a month ago, this very figure was at 130,000. At the time of this recording, it stood close to 193,000. These numbers could be just optics, but the issues are real. In fact, Farage has compared his rallies to a rock concert. He says people attending them are depressed and are just looking for a leader who can change the whole country around. And he hit where it hurt: immigration, taxes and crime.
I believe what is happening in the English Channel should be declared a national security emergency. And of course they arrive, they're given new shoes, new clothes, brand new iPhones, pizzas. They're then taken off to 4-star hotels or private accommodation.
We are in societal decline. We are in economic decline. Most people are getting poorer with every year that passes. The truth of it is, because of the open borders policy that had been run, not just for the last 14 years under the Conservatives, but Labour before that, we are allowing criminals to freely come into Britain. Whether they come legally or illegally, frankly, is not the point.
Here are some other things Farage has promised. Cut wasteful government spending, abandon key climate targets, push Britain towards oil and gas, and scrap DEI initiatives. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Farage in many ways has campaigned for Donald Trump ahead of the US elections, and since Trump's electoral win, Farage's scriptwriters have kept one section praising the now American leader.
I think also we're beginning to see a wave that is crossing the Atlantic from the east coast of America. where Donald Trump, standing on a platform, many of whose policies were not dissimilar to what we put to the British people in that contract last July, has won this incredible victory and got off to the most amazing start. And even those people that don't like him say, you know what, he gets things done.
The born homie goes both ways. This was Trump speaking about Farage on election eve.
You have a man from Europe, I don't know if he's here, I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me, I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage.
Farage is actively presenting his party as the main right-wing challenger to Labour, and he's trying to ride on Trump's victory in the US, at times comparing his policies and other times going to the extent of comparing himself. But there is one bone of contention here. Trump's right-hand man isn't on board with this idea. In fact, there was a public spat between Elon Musk and Farage on Twitter, where the Doge leader first said that Britain needs reform now, but then quickly said the party needs a new leader, claiming Farage doesn't have what it takes. 3 weeks have passed since the fiasco, and Farage is now claiming that the two are in constant touch and the relationship is going absolutely fine.
I really hope that the guy that's been put in charge of cutting the size of the administrative state, amazing chap. Do you see the rocket come down? And it was like Thunderbirds, wasn't it? And he's worth 450 billion or whatever it is. And he and I know each other. Elon and I know each other. Did you know that? Yeah. We've had the odd exchange here and there. It'll be fine. But if Musk is able to cut the size of the administrative state, to cut those terrible burdens put on men and women that want to go out on their own and set up their businesses, that will be an inspiration to us too.
Farage's praise of Musk seems to be working. There are also talks of huge donations by Musk, something in the millions. And Farage isn't stopping at that. Beyond Musk's deep pockets, the reform leader is looking to tap at other Americans who have given their green bucks to Trump. So love him or loathe him, Nigel Farage has become one of the most influential politicians in modern Britain, and is on course to join Europe's bus that is taking a sharp right turn. The playbook is the same, the issues are identical, and the voters are frustrated. But Farage is pulling in support from across the pond, Donald Trump, someone who will give, but only after he takes.